In the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution, it is written that Congress shall make no law abridging freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is defined as the right to express your beliefs, ideas, and opinions without fear of government reprisal or censorship.
In addition to being the mayor, I'm also a lawyer, so unfortunately I went to law school, and in law school they teach you that, we studied the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution that guarantees, among other things, along with freedom of religion, freedom to have the government address some of your problems, we're entitled to free speech. The government shall not pass a law that interferes with our ability to have free speech.
I mean, the First Amendment applies only to the government, right? I mean, the First Amendment is a limitation on the government, on the president, on the Congress, etc. But there is something, sort of a First Amendment spirit, which we take account of, and which matters a lot.
I think freedom of speech is pivotal to how we express ourselves, how we're able to become educated, and it's just essential to being ourselves, I think.
I mean, on the radio this morning were stories about China and about religious minorities in China that are being sent off to re-education camps. And so this is, we think the world has kind of all fallen in line behind the United States and followed this example. But that's not true. There's still a lot of examples of places in the world where speaking your mind, particularly if it is in something critical of your government, is not a good idea. You'll get in a lot of trouble.
According to the Pew Research Center, the United States was found to be the most supportive of free expression of the 38 countries studied. 71% of Americans think that one should be able to say whatever they please without government censorship, and 77% support the right of others to make statements that they might find offensive. This doesn't mean that Americans necessarily like offensive speech more than those from other countries, only that they are much less inclined to outlaw it. The idea of free speech is upheld in the U.S. as long as it is not obscene material, plagiarism, defamation, or a true threat. The American government does not police speech, so the responsibility has fallen to the citizens to condemn speech that does not follow their values. This makes for a verbally and socially open society that is ruled by the majority, but one that could possibly result in the exchange of dangerous ideas.
Freedom of speech, to me, that means to not be afraid to speak your mind and stand up for what you really believe in. Lately, it's been kind of hard to speak your mind, to voice your opinion, because it seems like everyone is against you, especially when we have a terrible racist, misogynist in the White House. So I think freedom of speech to me is just making sure that everyone knows that they're not alone, and even if we have opposite opinions, that we're all looking for the common goal to have a great, safe country.
I think if anything, it would help to bring awareness to the public, to even to individuals on like how much people care about the issues. So I think there's so much that goes around that people care a lot about it. They feel strongly about it, but sometimes they don't feel like that other people might be sharing the same ideas. So I think this helps a lot, and I think it's also motivation and inspiring for people to become involved politically that maybe have not traditionally been represented in that way. So I think that it can bring a lot of awareness, and not just that, but action.
Without freedom of speech, would I be able to ask my question at this march? If the general populace here says, hey, we vote, you don't get a voice because your voice is different from ours, they outnumber me. So they could vote me out if we didn't have a right to freedom of speech. So that's why we live in a republic, not a democracy. That way mob rule doesn't take away my right of the individual, it protects my right of the individual while protecting us as a group as a whole.
The most frustrating part of watching the city council meetings is if those people who speak at the end, who just go, they're allowed 3 minutes to say whatever they want to say, and sometimes there will be a 3-minute attack on him. But because it's not on the agenda, he's not allowed to speak back. And it's very frustrating. So that's what the world would be without free speech. It'd be that 3 minutes of city council where you can't get back.
Freedom of speech is important because it allows us to speak our minds and have our own opinions. And honestly, the foundations of a great society is a society that can discuss opinions and come to an understanding based on other people's ideas. And the basis of our democracy or republic or whatever you want to call it is the compromise of opposing ideas. So if we can't express those ideas, then we're never going to be able to create a compromise, and we'll never be able to have a great society.